think what I want to do now is just kind of show you all the features, what is totally possible with the Logos 5 program. And then we can begin towards the end to start talking about questions about upgrades and updates and things like that. So let's go ahead and begin by opening up Logos 5 and taking a look at it. So what you see here is the new version, and lo and behold, it looks almost just like Logos 4, and it does. In fact, that is one of the smart moves that Logos made, in that it will be very easy for you to move into Logos 5 because none of the menus or the basic structures have changed. They've added a few features, but all the old features still work in the same place, which means all of you who have purchased Logos 4 training from LearnLogos.com, it all still works. All of it's the same. And the difference is a few better looking icons, just a smoother interface, and so that's going to make your learning curve a whole lot easier than it was with that transition from Logos 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. So I'm really excited that they did that. This is just going to make it real easy for each and every one of you. Secondly, for all you Mac users, good news. It is literally like 99% parity with the PC version. I mean, it's practically exactly the same. So very encouraged for those users who have the Mac. You need to know that you pretty much got everything up to date with the PC. So pretty pleased with that. In fact, it's so identical, you will not notice the difference. I was going back and forth with the Mac and PC and was thrilled to see that Logos really made them the same. Now, what have they done with the interface? Well, you can see real clearly they've enhanced or improved the look of the icons. You can see that there. They've changed a few things. They've got some new new font look in some places, some new colors, but again, very similar. There's now what we call bars above what you click on. You can kind of see it right here, that little orange one. Now watch when I click on the library icon. You'll see now that it is selected. And if I click the search, in case search, you'll see here that this tab is selected. And if I click over here at the left, you can see that this little line is highlighted. So now you can finally see what has focus. And Craig just jumped in there and says been running on Mac for a year now and loves it. And yes, BT, I am definitely showing a live version here of Logos. Okay. And I got a whole bunch of people jumping in, say they just upgraded. Not sure about the netbook. Those are any kind of installation questions. You definitely want to bring those to Logos in particular. Okay. And if Eileen is still seeing the older products, then you better check your desktop connection and so forth. Okay. All right. So let's take a look now a little bit closer. So you saw that the little lines above it's really wonderful. Another thing that Logos has done, and I'm just going to open up a book. I'm going to click on my library and just take a moment here to see. And you'll notice, in fact, let me open up a couple books just to make things a little more interesting. So let me open up the Bible now, the MacArthur Study Bible and the New American Standard. Now, you will notice, finally, Logos has added a little X right there on the tab. So that's going to make things a whole lot easier for you because now you can just naturally click on that where the tab is. But for all of you who have been trained to go over there to the right, the X is still there. It's hidden, and what's going to happen is you're going to be wanting to go naturally, and you go, oh, your brain's going to say there's no X there, and then just as you get over it, you start going the other direction and you start playing ping pong with yourself. I found myself doing that many times. But the good news is you can still X the old way, and now you can X with the tab. So that should be a little bit easier. All right. Yvette had a question. He says, I can't see the questions of the participants. That's correct. I'm going to take all the questions myself, and then I'll be integrating them right into the presentation. So Yvette, great question. All right, now next, let's see. So the close buttons are still there at the far right, and the help file has been updated as well. So if you click the little question mark, you will see that the help file is, for the most part, up to date. So that's very important. When you do need some help, just press F1 on the key, and you will be good to go. All right, so let's go now, close down these books and begin to show you some of the changes that Logos has made. The first one, let me do this. I'm going to open up my David Harrison says, is Logos 5 compatible with Windows XP? Logos says that it's not supporting it, though some people I've been told have been able to get it on there. With Windows 7 or 8, it is definitely compatible because I've done some testing there. Okay, now let me open up a couple books, and I'm just going to open up a couple real quick here to demonstrate this next feature. And it's called the Concise Theology. And let's see here. Let me get that up to the top. There we go. All right, and what I'm going to do is show you this couple changes that have been made into the program settings. So if you go to Tools, Program Settings, you can see a couple new options. Now, these options are a little bit lower, so let me scroll down, and you can see them here. And it's under Text Display. So these two have been added for you. So let me just show you that right there. Now, the first one is the Justify Resource Text, and this is so subtle. In fact, I'm going to move it out of the way. I'll move it down here. It's so subtle you may not even notice the difference. And so let me show you what it is. Right now I have it turned on, and you'll notice that here in Concise Theology, all the books are lined up right justified. See that? And then if I go ahead and click No, now the book starts to get all jagged edges. So if you like those nice, smooth, perfectly straight columns, click Yes, Justify Resource, and that will correct it. All right. Excellent. And let's see here. I got a couple questions. Are you going to show the sermon prep and Bible study prep outlines? Yes, Frank. I'll be getting to that as well. And Logos blog stated that Logos 5 was not programmed to download and install in XP. Thanks, Robert, for that confirmation. I know there's some pretty clever people out there with able to do certain things with their computers, but I know that Logos has officially said they're not supporting it. The second one is line spacing. This is pretty cool. There's three options. There is a tight, normal, and loose. So let me put on tight first, and you can see very quickly how there's more text that can fit in the same amount of space. Logos will default with normal, of course, and you also have the option of loose, which gives you a little bit more. So that should come in handy pretty good. And we'll be saving pricing questions for all at the end, so just hang in there. And will Logos 5 keep your current hymn books, or do you have to hide them again? Great question, Kathy. That's down here below, and it does remember the hidden resources from version 4. So you don't have to make any changes. All the settings you had in Logos 5 will continue into Logos 4 automatically. Well, that's all the changes on the program settings. So that's going to be pretty good and pretty easy to use. And let's see, can you make a shortcut to the line spacing? No, there's no way to do that. You just have to go to basically Tools, Program Settings, and make that change. Okay, let's see. Line spacing, change for individual books. It's all across the board. So line spacing is once you make that change in program settings, that affects the whole Logos library. So great question there. Okay, now the next change. Let's talk about the home page. So let me hit the home button and put us right there. Now the home page is essentially exactly the same except for a couple things. You'll notice now there's no longer a tab at the top, which frankly I'm really glad they moved it. It was in an awkward place, and they moved it now to the left, and so it's much easier to scroll up and down and see the various elements in your ribbon, which is now at the left versus the top. So I'm very thankful for that. And let's see here. Okay, now let's take a look. We got the preferred Bible. We got all those. In fact, let's take a look. Now down at the bottom there's two settings which controls your ribbon at the side. Now you'll see that my name is here, John Fallahee, with my picture. And if we click on that, that's actually going to take you to the Logos website where you have to log in as your user. All right, now I'm not logged in. I'm logged in as someone else, my wife. So let me log out here, put this in real quick. All right. So when you log in, it'll take you right to your account. So that's kind of nice and convenient. And so that's where that link does. Takes you right to your account. Now the little sprocket or little gear there, if you click on that, is going to open up the customs feature, which you had before, but now instead of the word customize, it's just going to be a little sprocket. And you can see that you still, like before, had all the features, but there's some new content options. There's Faith Life blog and Faith Like Women. There's also the Proclaim blog and also the Verso voice. And so as you check these content boxes, that will determine what will appear in your home page. So really good. Question by Ken. Can you make the narrow more narrow? No, you cannot at this point. Great question. Will you have to change your email now? Yes, Bob. I am going to be changing it to I love Logos5 at LearnLogos.com. I just didn't have time to do that today. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. So very exciting. Not significant change there. Pretty easy and just more useful. And of course, you've got the inner passage. Click go at the top there. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the home page. Now let's take a look at the library and show you some new features there. This is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the library icon, and let me just scroll over here. And you'll see a couple significant changes. The first one, and probably most significant, is, let me go back there, is the collection feature that's been added now to your library. So when you click entire library, you'll get access to all the collections you've created. This means that literally on the fly you could pick one of these. Let's say I have my collection all English Bibles, and now my library list is just going to show me all my Bibles, which is really, really nice. So having that feature built in. Now the downside is you cannot create any collections on the fly. So if you want to create collections, you have to do that separately, and then it'll be integrated automatically into the library. So that's one neat feature. The second thing they've done is they've improved the tagging on the books. Now to see the tagging, what I'm talking about, it's called community tags. Now at the top here, you'll see these different columns: edition, title, author. Yours will probably differ from mine. Let me show you why. I'm going to right-click on one of the columns, and you can see that there's a variety of choices to choose from. We have my tags, we have rating. I'm just checking these, and as you check them, unfortunately, it turns itself off, so you have to keep right-clicking. But that's no big deal. Take you just a few moments to get them all in. And there we go. So now we have all these columns selected. Now you notice there's a new column called devices. Even though it's there, I haven't seen any content in there yet, so it's probably for a yet future resource at some point, some feature in the future. All right, and so you can see if I scroll to the right, all those are there. Now here's the new one that I wanted to point out. It's called community tags. So what Logos has been doing is, as you guys have been tagging your books, Logos has been storing that information and now is making it available to everyone. And based on some algorithms and some computer technology, they've picked some of these out that they feel are really good representations. So very, very cool. So let me click on that again so you can see that. And there we go. So there's the community tags. Now let me go ahead and, oh, by the way, just remember, I'm recording this all locally and with a high quality video and high quality audio. So this will be fully downloadable in case some of you have some download connections or issues right now with some screen displays and things like that. Okay, now let me go over here and click the I button right here at the top. And you'll notice here we've got the same information before, but now we have that community tagging information. Now what does this mean? Well, if you float your mouse, you can see that 386 people tagged this a Bible. 262 tagged it Bible English, Bibles, and so forth. So what's really great about this is you now can search on these tags. So if I typed in tags and I typed in English-Bible, oops, helps to put a little column in there. Let's see. I probably didn't spell it right. There we go. Now I get all the tags, all the books that have been tagged English-Bible. So this is just another way for resources to be searched and found out. Okay, let's see, got some more questions here. Is Logos 5 compatible only with Apple Mountain Lion or Lion also? I believe, Robert, it's compatible with both, so you're in great shape there. Are those book ratings an average community rating? Let's take a look. So let's see, let me go back to the library. Let's turn that off. Let's turn off the info, and let me scroll a little bit. Okay, actually these are, it looks like there is some default settings there that have been done. So yeah, so probably some because I haven't gone through and rated mine. So yeah, All right, and Amy asked the question, why would you use community tags versus my tags? Well, the my tags allows you to personalize it, where the community tags allows you to take advantage of all the work that other people have done. So really it's not an either or, it's a both and. Let's see, can you now share your tagging system? This is John here with another user. I implemented the tagging collection system, which I love on my account. However, it took 2 days to manually do it on a Pastor Logos account. If it's going to be shared, it's going to be done through a syncing process that Logos will implement over time. So that's a really good test, John, to just see how long it takes. Create a really unique tag that's not out there, and then watch to see when it shows up, and that would probably give you a good answer. You also might want to call Logos or shoot an email over to support and see if they can give you a timing on that. Not really sure on that one, but great question, because that'll come in handy. All right, and let's see, going forward, so we've got this improved community tagging. As I mentioned, device is new but not functional at the moment. The info button shows you the community tags and one other really cool feature. So let me go over here. All right, and that is you now can, let me go back to info here, you have the ability to copy on the fly a bibliography. In the past, this was very difficult to get to. So now you just basically click on any book, and then there's your bibliography information, and you hit copy. And you just paste that right in there. Let me bring it over to Word here so you can see that. There you go. We can paste that right in there. So really helpful. And so wonderful feature that Logos has added right there in the library when you're looking to get a quick bibliography. Okay, excellent. Got some more questions coming in here. And I use Logos on XP and on Windows 7. Will I be able to run Logos 4 on XP and LL5? If you know. I would leave all the, basically Logos is saying Windows XP is not supported. So if you manage to pull it off, congratulations, but you may have some issues. And Robert, we'll get into some of the other bibliographic format issues forward. But yes, as far as making setting changes of your bibliographic style, if you go to Tools, Program Settings, you can choose your citation style here. Not a new feature, been there since Logos 4, but since you brought it up, I did want to point that out. Okay, and let's go. All right, so that pretty much is the library features. Now let's go to the search window and see what else we can learn with Logos 5. Now they've done a lot of improvement to the search engine, and I think you're all going to be very pleased with that. So let's just start off with the basic and kind of move our way from left to right. Now the first thing that you'll notice right away is all the search helps that are given here. So if you've attended many of my webinars, I kind of revealed all these to you. Well, Logos has taken that list and made it available, but they've gone one step further. If you click on it, Logos will insert that example, which means you can go and modify it. So there's faith, hope, and love, or here's John 3:16. Notice that as I click on them, it's not removing what's currently in there. So if you want to change or remove it, you've got to delete it first. So just be aware of that, and that can be handy sometimes too. So you have all these search examples of to look for. So I would definitely review these and try to get used to them because there's some really powerful ones. You've got image searches and Boolean examples, searching for Hebrew, Greek words, Aramaic, and so forth. So pretty neat. And again, all you got to do is just click there. Notice they also give you the help on typing Greek or Hebrew words. So if you type in a G and you make the phonetic spelling, like let's say agapao, A-G-A-P-A-W, if you can read Greek and you can phonetically spell it, you can on the fly type Greek and Hebrew words. So that's pretty handy too. All right, now you're probably wondering what this find example is. And so I'm just going to type in word. And what I'm going to get now is a shortened list of all the word type searches. So it's pretty handy just to kind of eliminate the list and see what you're looking for. So be aware of that. And okay, we got some questions here. Let's see, scrolling down. Okay, great. All right, so that's the basic search, and very happy with the find box, and very pleased with that. So let's now, the basic search other than that is exactly the same. All right, so no new differences there. The Bible search is exactly the same, but again, you've got the different search examples. So that's really important again there. Now, let me come back. Let's go to clause. Now, clause is brand new, and this is really powerful. But it's one of those features that is tied to specific resources. And we get towards the end, we'll point out all the different collections and where you get these features and what Logos is going to do and how to get all those features and so forth. David Harrison says, can you add your own search commands in the search examples? At this point, I haven't been able to figure out how to do that, and I don't think that's possible at this point. But at some point, they may do that. So, and so forth. Does this mean that Logos inserts the formula bar for searching? Not sure, Michael, exactly what you mean by the inserts the formula for the searching. If you mean that if you click here, basically what you see in the search examples is what's going to get populated. You still have to choose the search range and the resources, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. All right, great. Now, let's take a look at this clause search. This is pretty neat. Now, notice that it's two separate books, one for the Greek, Lexham Greek Interlinear, and then the Lexham Hebrew Bible, which means you can't do these searches for Old Testament, New Testament together. It's got to be either one or the other, not at the same time. Now, this is pretty neat what they've done here. So, for example, we can type in, let's do this first one, subject Abraham. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this on the New Testament. So what you're really doing behind the scenes is an original language syntax search, but you're doing it in English. And it's going to find all the passages where Abraham has been tagged as the subject of the sentence. So that can be really, really powerful. And you definitely want to take advantage of that. All right, now let's do another one. Let me do another one. Let's do person. This is another one that's in the list. Person Moses. All right. Now notice when I did person Moses, I get all these little icons to the right, and I get to see all the different relationships of Moses, because there's a lot of persons that are related to Moses. There's Moses himself, Moses' judges, and sister, father, daughter-in-law, etc. So all those now are built in there. So if you know part of the relationship, you can pretty much get there. All right, and let's see. We got some more questions coming in. I will use Logos. This is from Robert. I use Logos on PC and Apple platforms. Will I be able to upgrade both without paying twice? Yes. So it's basically buy one time for Logos, works on as many computers you personally own. And let's see. Okay. Now, so this clause search is very particular, and again, you have to have these resources. We'll talk about that at the end, but right now I just want to show you all the features, and then we can go from there. Now, notice in this particular case, I have a Greek Bible on the left and an English Bible at the right. That English Bible is controlled here. So if you just get back, for example, just Greek results, that's no good. If you can't read Greek, you can just paste in your favorite Bible translation and you're good to go. Now, the reason I'm doing person Moses is I want to take you down to Hebrews and show you why this is better than searching simply like a concordance search for the word Moses. So let me scroll down and get to Hebrews. Here we go, Hebrews 11. All right, now look at this. In Hebrews 10:28, we have anyone who has set aside the law of Moses. Now, we'd expect that to come back in the New Testament talking about Moses. But what about Hebrews 11:2? For by it the men of old gained approval. Well, where's Moses? So let's go ahead and click on it. And I'm going to click on the Greek one too. And what Logos has done is they have figured out that this passage is referring to Moses. So it got tagged. So this is done behind the scenes, and now it will allow you to find those passages that don't even mention Moses. You now can find that. So that's very, very powerful. Great. All right, so very excited about this amazing feature because for the first time now you can search on passages that are about a person even though that person has not been mentioned in the Bible. Okay, and great. In this case, the it is the law of Moses, and so that's pretty cool. All right, so it's basically the pronoun is being tagged. So thanks for just having me clarify that, Robert. All right, so that's the clause. Very thrilled about that capability. Let's see, and one more. Let's just jump down to Romans 5:10 just to show you this one. Sometimes if Moses writes something, for example, again he says Romans 15:10, rejoice, O Gentiles, with his people. So this is Moses talking, and so Logos has that cross reference. So very excited, and Bob chimes in there, love that feature. And then Ken Hill says Hebrews 11:23, Moses not highlighted. Of course, it's not perfect, so what I would do, Ken, is submit that to Logos. So let's go to Hebrews 11:23 and show you how to do that. So there's Hebrews 11:23. Let me scroll down, make sure it's not in mine. There we go, 11. Oh, no, this 11:23 is there. It just has the beautiful child. So, yeah, you're right, by faith up here. So it gets you pretty close. I'm not sure quite why that didn't come up, but anyway, that's something you could submit to Logos. Just simply select it, right-click on it, and you can choose report typo, and you can say not tagged with person.moses. There you go. And so that's been added there. So that's a great way to help Logos get better at tagging.